Remember when I said all it would take is a pinion seal and a ring and pinion for us to be able to get a perfect pattern out of this if we wanted to? Well, there's a pinion seal and a new ring and pinion, so guess what we're doing? Okay, everything's back apart. If you're wondering how things come apart, you can go to part 1 of the video. Part 1 of the differential videos, anyway. At this point, we are currently waiting on our breakfast in our toaster oven because I don't feel like pressing anything. So we'll let everything get nice and warm, and then we'll start dropping things together. Okay, I thought I had the camera set up when I was putting the ring gear on, but apparently I did not. See, it's still 70 degrees though. It's still pretty warm, but heating it up, it expands a little bit and it just drops right straight on the carrier that way. There we go. Nothing like hot diff fluid. Okay, with the bearing on there, what we're going to do is dry fit the pinion, which basically means we are going to take and slide the pinion in without a seal, and we're going to lightly put the yoke on. Okay, so I have figured out our problem. Well, sort of. So this is why we are the Real Guy Garage, is we base everything in reality, or at least I try to. I don't know everything, and I don't claim to know everything. So I have never changed a carrier on a 10-bolt GM. You know, I'm a Chrysler guy. This is not something I do a lot of. So I didn't realize there was 2 different carriers. Apparently, there's one for gear ratios from 323 and up, and then one for gear ratios below 323. So this had like a 225 or 245 gear on it originally. Of course, this truck has a 373 gear. So I was trying to figure out why I put a brand new ring and pinion in here and I still couldn't get a good pattern. So that's when I come to find out that, yeah, you won't. So you have 2 choices. You either buy a gear set, so ring and pinion, what's called a thick ring and pinion, and basically it's a thicker ring and pinion that takes up this gap, or you purchase a spacer, right? So this is my opinion, and you can take it with a grain of salt, but in my case, very low horsepower, low torque application that's not going to be abused, I can absolutely get away with the spacer. If I were putting this gear ratio and carrier behind something making a lot of power, I would go for the thick gear set instead, because this does give you a lot more potential to shear these bolts, right? That's my opinion. So what we're going to do is we're going to knock our ring gear off again, and we'll install the spacer, and then we'll put our gear set up and we'll start messing with shims again. Okay, now that I've been playing with shims, now that I'm happy with. So what I ended up doing was I put 2 of the original cast shims in, and I found that they were 0.230 thousandths of an inch. I ended up using 2 of them the same size, and as you can see, we're good. So now the fun part. I like to put the axles back in and put the retainers back on and scrape all the gasket material off the housing again so we can put the cover back on. And I'm going to pull the yoke back off now and put the seal on, now that I know that we're not going to have it apart another 25 times. And then we can put the drive shaft back in the truck too. Put our drums back on, put our tires back on, and we'll fill it up with fluid. Okay, so we're all back together, and as you'll notice, if I turn this guy to whatever direction it goes, the other one's going because we now have a posi. So with that done, I wasn't sure if I gave you a good shot of the part number here. That's it, 70100, and that's All-Star Performance that sells those. Just in case anybody ever runs into the same issue as me. The reason it's still up in the air is there's a handful more little things I figured out that I need to do underneath it. So I didn't realize it until I was rearranging and looking for things upstairs. And what I found was, underneath all this here, I have a whole bunch of powder-coated parts to go on this truck. So a whole bunch of stuff that I just painted and put on, I actually have powder-coated replacements for. So all the control rods, or not control, but the support rods on the transmission, the dust shields, all that stuff, I have powder-coated versions to put on. So I'm going to put that stuff on, and I noticed a little drip of fluid coming from the speedometer housing there. So we're going to deal with that. And then we're basically done, other than adjusting the parking brake cable. We're basically done under the truck. So our next things from there, I'm going to put the wire harness back in the truck and start working on the body again, I guess. So that's where we're at and where we're moving.